Bernard Hopkins, we have the pleasure of having you in here with us. What I love about you is your story and your come up, especially when it comes to something like boxing. We all got to fight in us, you know? You've been through the ringer with life and in your career, right? And to understand that you at one point were in prison, you were in jail. And now you made it out of boxing as one of the biggest greats. I think a lot of times we make a mistake and we think like that's going to define us. We kind of cast ourselves out. You're like, no, I'm going to use that energy and I'm going to make what you have made in your legacy in the ring and with Goldenboy. Talk to me about that.
Yes, that to me, experience being in Grade 4 State Penitentiary from 17 and getting paroled at 25 and picked up the sweet science in that environment because boxing was allowed. They had boxing part of an amateur program with the AAU, the Golden Gloves. We just couldn't go to the Olympics if we was that good, but we had tournaments inside the prison where they would bring inmates, they would bring civilians, amateurs into the prison and spar with inmates. And to fight with inmates, and we get trophies, we get, the win, loss, and you move up, you elevate to another level once a year, and that there really saved. When I say saved my life, I had to make decisions and change behaviors of thinking to support that change. But what changed it, where I realized that I can be other than Y4145. My inmate number that I'll never forget. I knew that number better. I knew my Social Security.
Come on.
Wow.
And I'm not embarrassed as a 50-year-old man telling you that. I knew that better than I knew my social.
Wow.
Judge me or not. I'm being honest.
Yeah.
When you understand your value and you really understand life and the people that love you and you love them, but you cannot be there to love them physically and be there to love them emotionally and all the things that, that you enjoy being there. But if you don't have the value of that and don't understand that from whatever age that you should or shouldn't, then you miss out on a whole great part of life.
Yeah.
And once I got that feeling and understanding the value of me, Bernard Hopkins Jr., in that situation, it took a year for me to really understand that. Out of that 5 years, it took a year for me to understand that. That whole first year was, to me, was sort of like finding my way, having that respect, getting more respect,
in there,
carrying that same energy that I carried before I got there. It was dangerous that year because the danger of that year could have, had 5 to 15. That extra, or the years behind that 5, after that 5, you got 6, 7, 8, 9. That could have been done in there. My time could have been extended based on my behavior in that institution. So that 5 can turn into 15 on a homicide because you got to protect yourself. And let me tell you something. Any day is different. Any day in that situation is different for 56 months. So that 5 could turn into 15. So I don't believe in luck that brought me here at the station over all these years or through my trials and ups and downs in between my career. I believe that there's some influence that can help certain situations or hurt. I had to take charge of my destiny by changing my mindset and knowing that everybody's not going to be on the same page, good or bad, on my change. Some people don't want you to change.
Nope.
Right? So I start looking at me then more than the system. The system going to be what the system is. Don't mean I agree, don't mean I surrender, but I'm not going to be part of that game that I realize ain't good for me and who I hurt and who I leave behind. So I got real deep on them. But then after all that, I start putting that work behind it. I said the better voice is not the voice that I actually say. That's the backup. It's what I do and what I become. So now they gave me more of the credibility of it. And it says now that I'm gonna get paroled at 25. They said, you gonna turn pro at 25? The parole lady said, And it was a lady. And she was good. She was realistic. She looked at the record and said, listen, just get a job, stay out of trouble, pay your I guess I owe like maybe $1,000. Your fees, restitution.
Yep.
So I paid the restitution, and I was like, okay, to stay out of trouble, basically,
right?
And walk your parole off. That sounds really boring, don't it? So guess what? I said no. I said I'm gonna be a boxer. I'm gonna be a world champion.
Wow.
And I started telling everybody that would listen to me in the city of Philadelphia and every platform I got at that time I love a microphone.
Yeah, any mic in front of you.
I don't know if y'all noticed that I'm not shy when it's time to talk to the microphone.
Yeah, right.
So every chance I got, and I'm serious, every chance I got, whether it's recording, whether it was somebody, a beat writer or a beat reporter, I gave them my feelings.
Come on,
and I spoke in the existence of what I became. And I got so much content, so much videotape, because I've been a collector. When I talk to people and they see me and they talk to me with my partner Oscar, and then everybody Goldenboy, and I said, listen, I kept 90% of my trail to get here.
Yeah.
Audio, I still got VCR tapes, audio tapes of me doing interviews of what I wanted to become and what I did become. So not only you speak about it, let's go back and let's reminisce. I got tapes, I got audio tapes, I got interviews, I got this, I got that, TV, radio. Let's sit down and talk. You mentioned that in 89. You mentioned that in 93. You mentioned that in 91. And now hit 2023.
Come on.
Wow.
Legacy.
So the reason I said all these things just now is because a lot of people listening to us. And I want them to understand that they don't have to be in that place that they don't want to be if they don't want to be there.
Come on.
It's easy said than done, yes, but you're here to change a day that you don't like for tomorrow to be a day that you will like going forward, and that is the key. You're here. You're not buried. You're not buried in somebody's institution
you don't
or
gotta
graveyard.
stay in the U of today. Come on. Come on, B-Hop.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
I love it. And you know what I love too is this is how you speak to anybody you come in contact with, because you want them to know it could be like this for you too. Because at one point the world counted you out. Like you said, your pro officer was like, hey, just pay your fines and try to stay out of trouble. You're like, no, I want this more for me. Not only did you just say it though, you put in the work. We know the legacy. We know the fight record. We know what you've done, and I love what you're still doing with Goldenboy. You know, we were watching the Goldenboy doc of Oscar, and it was really trippy to me that when you beat him is when he knew, I got to partner with this guy.
Yes.
Did you see that? Like when you and Oscar De La Hoya fought in the ring, you beat him, you got him, you gave him the similar type of punch that Tank Davis gave Ryan Garcia. And from there, Oscar was like, I have to work with him. He has to be my partner. Did you think he was tripping when he first came to you, like offering that type of a business deal?
Yeah.
I thought it was just a thing that you say when you see a guy that just beat you.
Yeah.
And it was just it was at the ESPYs, matter of fact. I was band nominated that year, and he was at the next table, and I went over there, and I thanked him for giving me not only the biggest payday I ever got through Top Rank, who he was promoted by at the time, Bob Arum. But it was a thing of a good gesture of me that I felt that was genuine, and it was to go over there and say, man, I got to thank this man that, go up to fight at 2-3 weight classes and give me that opportunity. I have to thank him for having me in this position. And he said, yeah, I'm thinking about running my own company one day. I'm like, really? He said, yeah. He said, I know you don't like promoters and trust them too much, but I'm going to start my own company. I was like, all right. So I went back to my table, and I went back to my guy. I'm like, he talking about starting his own company. So I said, I don't know, man. Maybe he just had something to say. But we got the call, less than a year ago. Less than a year from that conversation. We got, I'd say about 8, maybe 9 months. And that's a long time when you think somebody gonna call you next month or 2 months. Yeah. So when I got the call, my attorney at that time, Arnold Joseph, he said, I got this strange call, man. Somebody talking about they want to, Oscar to do starting the show. I said, yeah. Remember I was telling you at the ESPYs when I took y'all. So here we go, 2012, 21 plus years later.
Wow.
That's
When they said we
incredible.
weren't going to last, we was going to be suing each other, it's going to fall apart.
Yeah.
Anybody was around that time? There's a lot of young faces here. I see you probably was in high school at the time or whatever.
Can't even grow a beard.
With the goat beard. But if anybody know, I really looked at it as like it's something that I honored and got on board very, very quickly and wanted to prove and still proving people wrong about what? That we weren't going to last too long.
I love
that Goldenboy wasn't going to last too long. And know what? We're thriving. We continue to thrive. Every company, every situation has their ups and downs.
Right.
Yeah.
No company that I know of have started 100% from the beginning and been 1,000% in between and a millions of percent in the middle, I mean, or at the end without any stumbles, without any adjustments, without anything. Hey, listen, this power, 106 FM, over the years.
Yep.
They said pivot, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
You got a lot of pivoting.
Oh yeah.
You got to pivot.
We're good at it.
Every
Got good ankles.
got to pivot, so let's do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you evolved in
Exactly.
everything in life, in business. So we're going to continue doing that, and it's a great relationship.
Yeah.
Again with Goldenboy and Oscar personally, as not only as
Partners.
at one times as rivals and partners.
Yeah.
Because we weren't really rivals. We fought each other and came up to dare to be great. To win 10, 11
Yep.
division champion.
Yep.
So he had to come up to fight myself, which I've been there all the time for many years, decades. So, but what came out of that, and I'm glad you mentioned it, is this relationship and business that's going to be, for those who don't think, for the fans of doing the best, fighting the best fights.
Putting on the best fights,
We're their worst nightmare.
Yep.
Goldenboy promotion is their worst nightmare when it comes to the same decades of old thinking
Right.
and not evolving and giving the fans what they want in boxing when other sports are doing it. Other sports teams are doing it. Other sporting events are doing it. Everybody's passing us in technology. Everybody's passing us in integrity. Everybody's passing us in things that we in boxing is still stuck in the quicksand that we must get out. So now I have to be that voice.
Yeah.
I have to be that voice outside of Goldenboy and within my own brand, and also as a former prize fighter, but never would be part of, as I said to my partner Oscar De La Hoya when we signed the deal to come on as partners in Goldenboy 20 plus years ago. Our biggest challenge won't be who won't or who would sign with us because of us too.
Right.
Our biggest challenge will be that we don't become those who we despise.
Ooh.
Now, when you start
Beehive.
talking about that, you're
I love
putting the
that.
cameras on you. You putting your integrity out there for display and scrutiny and all kinds of other things and jealousy and envy and all kinds of things that come with that.
Yeah.
But when you say that and you remind people decades later, in case they missed it or forgot about it, because time sometimes robs you of your memory.
Yeah.
But it haven't robbed me of my thoughts, memory, or saying that quote.
Yeah.
Our biggest problem won't be who would and who wouldn't sign with us as fighters because of our background. Our biggest challenge is, I say it again, that we, Goldenboy, Oscar De La Hoya and Bernard Hopkins, especially, don't become those who we despise. And we don't got to put names on those people.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of other of those want to take that place of those who we despise.
Yeah. They're always gonna be
Because
around.
they get old.
Yeah.
They get tired.
Yeah. But the trick's always the same.
The trick is always the same.
Come on.
And so that statement is only for those who might not look at everything the way you're supposed to look at it. We're not exempt from that.
Yeah.
We, Goldenboy, is not exempt for that scrutiny if it's deserving.
Yeah.
Because to say that is bold. To say that is bold. But you got to also stand by it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so that keeps me and my conscience in check.
Yeah.
Because the young fighters, which I was at one time, coming with ignorance. There's so much ignorance in this game of boxing that the business is left for last.
Yeah.
And getting to the promised land of world championship and getting the things that you would like to get your mama and your family and all that. And next thing you know, you don't have it for too long because the ignorance now comes back and haunts you because you don't know the business of which you generate others people lifestyle to live and manage theirs because you can't manage yours, and eventually they will manage yours too.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah.
So my thing is not just running off the mouth. Every time I open my mouth, I try to teach.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody got a problem with that, then you should watch them. And you should understand why they got a problem with that. Because every fighter should know how to balance their checkbook. Every fighter should know how to take care. You got a partner, and your partner always will be the government in this country. So first you got to give him his percentage.
Yeah.
You got to get all the write-offs and all the tax benefits that you know.
Yeah.
Because to have a dumb accountant makes you a dumber you.
B-Hop, I want to talk to you about your most favorite signed gloves. Did you ever get any from a boxer yourself? Because that's top tier. That is like the best souvenir of a fight.
Yes.
We got
Muhammad.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ali.
Come on.
Joe Frazier.
No way.
My definitely middleweight idol that I met multiple times at our shows, Goldenboy shows. We invited him. He came. I broke defense records in the middleweight division. Y'all know who I'm talking about, the bald head, the bald head, marvelous one.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Marvin Hagler, who always came in on weight, who didn't have to get ready. He stayed ready. That's B-Hop, the DNA. I am cloned by the great, marvelous Marvin Hagler, the middleweight division.
B-Hop. Your discipline is unmatched, B-Hop.
Yeah.
You're still if I weigh you right now, you're still going to weigh around the same weight of when you weighed in during your last fight.
I'm under.
You're under?
Yeah, I'm about 2 under now. I weighed 3 days ago, 182 and a half. So I'm normally 184. I try to hang in between 84 and 85. I don't want my suits to look like they're hanging off me, but I also want to make them look like they fit so nice.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, this generation of fighters, Rocha and the Santiago and all the other fighters, they are really taking a page out of the history of what we laid down. And it's not just my era, it's eras that those who's smart enough and told to be able to go and reflect a few years back or a decade back rather, to be able to see what we've done to set the platform for them to be greater. To be greater. And that's what they all have an opportunity to do with the talent that's in these divisions. Think about it, y'all. The last time the 146-pounder, the 135, all the way up to 160, there's some good fights, man.
That's great fights.
That spread around the board, not just with one company. Every company that's in boxing has at least one or two of those talents in their stable.
Oh yeah.
To bring together amongst the other fighters and promoters to do big fights. And that's you heard Oscar said many times, you heard myself say it, and others is echoing it also, is that we want to do the best fights. We don't want to get into the thing, I don't like this promoter, that promoter's fighting back.
Take the pride out of it. Take the ego out of it.
It ain't bingo. It ain't about us. It's about their career, because when it's said at the end of the day, it's going to be their legacy, not ours.
Yeah, you guys already cemented.
Not ours. And we're going to be older than we are now. I don't want that young guy coming up to me that's not that's not happy about didn't get an opportunity to be great. And it's our job to give them that. So I look at it like this. We believe we got the best fighters.
Yeah.
We're not fighting for them physically, but we're fighting for them behind the scenes or making the best fights with them. And they got representations on their side called managers, right? Right? I don't know what an advisor is. I don't know what a consultant is, because I know that a manager does all that for the fighter, and everybody else wear titles.
Right.
And that's on them. I mean, that's part of one of the things that I think that interferes with big fights being made from all across the board. Is that type of situation. You know, boxing is one of the only sports. I know it don't happen in basketball, because I'm affiliated with a few basketball players, and football and other sports, even NHL, which is hockey, baseball. Boxing is the only sport where you really don't need credentials to latch on to a fighter.
Dang.
Boxing is the only sport that I know of that a person can latch on from anywhere. I don't care what he do. He can latch on to a fighter and also represent the fighter with no skills. With no skills.
Wow.
So if the fighter don't know, and the person that's his mouthpiece that he chose to put in there because they said he can do it, he says he can do it, or she. That's the only door that's been open for boxing for centuries, not decades. That I guess in corporate America, the lack of respect will never change until we change the way we want to be treated. And that's, you know, that's another situation. But fights will be made when the fighter recognize, which I believe they are, and I really believe this, that they are the boss, that they call the shots. And so when you have a fighter over the other side of the street saying, I want to fight that guy, I want you to get that job done, no matter what it takes. Now you got the person that thought they was in charge, who's not taking no punches, who's not getting up 6:30, 5:30 in the morning running,
not doing the camp,
not doing the camp, not worrying about the scale. Now they got to be looking at like he recognized or she recognized that I work for them, that they don't work for me. And once that get to a point where they really believe that and be consistent with that, the game boxing will be respected across the board even more. We respect it about what we do. We respect it on that way. But I'm talking about the business. There's too many of us that wind up broke after we put that time in.
That's horrible.
And we can't be babysitters for grown men. That's why I refrain for using the traditional talk of the kid is good, he's a great kid, he's that. And I hear fighters saying that, and it burns me up. Because when I look at this, I say to myself, we like to use words in this country to identify certain things that we can't understand. So we say kid, the kid is good, that's a grown man, he paid taxes, he's got a family, he's married, he take care of his kids. When do a kid has that responsibility? Well, but no, you take it too serious, you just, no. Words are important. And when you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. So you telling me, oh, the kid is great. The kid.
Yeah.
Then I hear the fighters repeat the same thing because they don't know better, and they don't realize that they're gonna say the kid was good on the commentating, and they don't know now they being called a kid,
And then they robbed the kid.
and then they rob the kid.
But this is a man sport.
If it's listen, it's
Yeah.
a man sport, 100%, and you know. The kid can't wrestle with the man because the strength is different. The mind is different. The demeanor is different. And let me tell you something, the whole approach is different. So that kid that's not a kid in age will realize that when it's too late.
Yeah.
But in reality, when you watch the Goldenboy fights between now and in 2024 that's coming in a few months, you're going to realize that we took the step
To make those fights. Come
to
on.
make fights happen in the
Let's
future.
go.
Somebody got to take the step. And like I said, we don't become those who we despise. Is in the same energy of saying that we're going to take the lead.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to put it out there, but we're going to take the lead. And that's why we're going to pit our best against our best if it's our fighters. If we got to pit our fighters together in the same weight class and we promote it, we're going to make sure we go by that same script that we tell everybody else they should go by.
Right. Yeah.
And if we do that collectively, then we will get much respect from sponsors that want to come in. Sponsors that never been into boxing will start
Wanna
looking
be a
and say,
part of it.
because you know what? They want to be a part of the eyeballs.
Yeah.
It ain't about whether they like you or don't like you. They look at how many followers, how many people that's coming,
How many viewers.
how much is this, how much is that. See, once you start showing that and they see that with the Nielsen the ratings,
Yeah.
The Nielsen's.
when they start seeing the Nielsen ratings, they say, oh, wait a minute, right?
We got to get involved with this.
Business.
Yeah.
I want to bring up, before we go, Oscar Duarte. He's going to fight Ryan Garcia December 2nd. I saw him in the undercard of what was going to be the Zurdo fight in Long Beach. And the way that he showed out, I saw muscles on him I've never seen on anybody. I'm like, where? There's a muscle there? He looks like he has a 16-pack. This kid wants it. And he's coming for it. And I don't think he's afraid that it's Ryan Garcia, a household name at this point in boxing. You know? And also for Ryan to take it on. It's not like he's taking on a chump or an easy win. He's taking on this kid that wants it come December 2nd.
One, Ryan has to take a fight like this to not only prove to himself, but also that he's right back in the game mentally, but also not take someone else that we know is just a walkover and is wham bam, thank you, man. This is not that type of fighter that he's fighting. So to me, I'm not surprised that he's taking this type of fight. I believe he had no choice but to take a talent of that magnitude based on getting the credibility back that he have put a question mark on it amongst a lot of people. But first is himself. A lot of fans, rather. So himself first has to be in a peaceful mind to be able to say, "Hey, I want him. That you brought him to me. You think he's good. I can beat him. I know him better. Give me your best." So I'm glad he's taking this type of risk for this fight. And going forward, if Ryan win this fight, but win it in a way where he still can lose the popularity that he once had, that's the danger.
Yeah.
Right.
To me, it's more on the upside than the downside of him fighting this fight. He have no choice.
No choice.
We say we have a choice. Well, unless you want to retire.
Yeah.
But he has no choice but to now show what he made of.
Show up and show out.
The hard way.
Yeah.
No.
You got to work your way back.
And you know what's beautiful? Goldenboy's putting it together. That's how you end out a year.
Let's go.
That's how you end out a year. That's how you start the upcoming year with that type of
I'm
a fight.
excited.
That's what you mean by ending
Can
out
we
the
go?
year. That's what you mean by scheduling out to give us the best fights in boxing.
Yes. I mean, you close it out like that. And like I said, Houston is a town. They love boxing.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of support for Ryan there.
Oh, yeah.
Get a lot of
Can I go,
support.
Bernard? Can I?
Oh, my
Can I
God.
go?
Can you go where?
To Houston. Remember when he said about how people will tag along to anybody when they're boxing?
Well,
so
I
much
want
hard?
to support.
He's watching.
I'm not gonna tell the man no.
Yes, that's a yes.
Go ahead, tell him.
But let's start.
Tell him. Tell him.
Okay.
You must get in the car now.
Damn
I'll
it.
meet you there.
Okay. I'm gonna be asking for it at the front. And B-Hop said it was cool.
I will meet you in there. So get there. Be safe.
Be safe.
Get there on
Be
the road.
safe.
You know, just be safe on the road.
Yes.
When you get there, I got you. Don't
We'll
worry
see
about
what's up. We'll see what's up there.
That's gonna be a great match.
I'm
in
excited
Houston.
for that.
Me too.
GoldenBoyPromotions.com for all things
go.
Golden Boy. Bernard Hopkins, thank you so much.
Thank you,
for coming.
bro.
It's golden time.
Come on, baby.
I'll see you in Houston.
Power 106.